Go further with the American Express Business Gold Card. Earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels when you book through AmexTravel.com. Whether your destination is a business conference or a client meeting, your purchases will help you earn more points for future trips. Experience more on your travels with Amex Business Gold. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
Yeah, we lie, yeah, we gritty. I'm a little frustrated, but I still love my city. Yeah, north side, south side, west, we united.
If Nsingwe is decent, Caleb is going to be decent. And if you Buzelis, another interview, part 2 with Lester Stewart. Follow him on his IG, 105_hoops. He's got his mock draft 3.0. And today we're going to dive into the Bulls. And it's a happy day today for us. Happy day. Lovely day.
Yes, I know the song.
Okay. All right.
Said I know the song.
For a couple months now, we had a 20% chance to move up to 4, and that's exactly what happened. So we didn't get number 1, but we got top 4 in a very loaded draft. So this is very good. I guess we could thank Tony Kukoc stepping in, being our representative, and we could thank this pod. We kind of predicted this.
And that's why we got Coach Lester on. He's going to dive in. We talk about what can the Bulls Nation, what's the mock saying? What are people saying that the Bulls are going to grab at number 4?
Everything is pointing towards Caleb Wilson. I think that's probably the consensus right now. But this week is a very important week because it is NBA Combine week, and you're starting to see that guys aren't as tall as they were. And I'm not going to put any names out there. They've been telling us this one kid has been 6'9", 6'9", 6'9" since he was a freshman in high school, and he's 6'7" today. Kind of knew that, but anywho, it's a show and tell week, really. It's, for the most part, the guys that the Bulls will be looking at for their draft, they won't play. They'll shoot. They'll do some agility. They'll do all the, athletic testing. But right now, what the Bulls are doing, they're looking at fit. And then they're going to try to see what the 3 teams before them are going to do. There's no consensus number 1. All signs point to AJ, but we don't know. And we don't know what Washington really wants to do with that number 1 pick.
You spoke on Caleb Wilson, and we do need another Caleb in the city of Chicago.
Been working out well for us.
It's been working out well. Can you go down the list of Caleb's pros and cons?
I'll start with the cons with 2 things that I want to see more from him as an NBA player in this NBA is I want to see his motor run the whole game. And I can go back to the Michigan State game. I can go back to the Duke game. And I can go to the Miami game, which he unfortunately got hurt in. And those are just 3 instances where he started out 100 miles an hour. And then he just slowed down as the game progressed. And granted, the Michigan State game, they lost. The Duke game, he even slowed down that they won. But it was others that stepped up to help them get over the hump to beat Duke. But he definitely, his motor is there. And I think it comes from years of people saying, well, he's talented, but he don't play hard enough. And it's the truth, though. I've watched Caleb Wilson since he was going into the 9th grade. And
so is he he's not giving 100%. He's going like 50, 60%.
No, I can tell you this now. Going into his senior year AAU season, his senior year of high school, and his first year, his year at North Carolina, this is the hardest he's played his whole life. You got to think, him being projected to go number 4, he was top 5 his whole career. But it was always like, man, he good, but he don't play hard enough all the time. He don't, there's always questions of how bad he wants it. Because I can tell you this now, when people, you hear all the NBA analysts saying, I'll take him number 1 or I'll take him number 2. It's because they're starting to see, but for those of us that been in grassroots basketball and known to see Caleb Wilson, I'm not shocked by this. I'm not shocked. I'm just mad it took him longer to do it. He has better, I mean, he has better measurables than AJ DeBesta. Like, he probably has one of the highest ceilings in the draft. You know, for me, I just want to see him play harder as the game goes along. And I think he'll learn how to pace himself doing that. I think that's his biggest thing is to, like, you know, as a rookie, he may, all depending on, you know, where he goes and how they want to put him, how much they want to put on him, you know, how many minutes he'll play. But he has to learn it within the confines of how to manage playing so hard and changing speeds. I think he just over the last year, he just played one. Okay, I got to play hard, so he's giving everything. But then it's like, no, dude, we need you in crunch time, so we got to have you still play hard. But that all goes with, you know, him building his skill level. Which on the second end of it, I want to see his 3-point shooting a lot better. He has to be able to. He has to be able to shoot the three. Because if he is with the Bulls, he's gonna be the cornerstone. You know, this is the new regime's first acquisition. Whoever they pick will be the first acquisition. So it has to go right. It's kind of like having your first kid. Kind of like, you know, when you get married the first time. You know, you want it to work.
Yeah.
So those are only two things. But as far as pros, I I love his size. I love his athleticism. I love the fact that he does work. He is a guy that's going to be in the gym. He's a workhorse. Like I said, I've been watching him for almost 5 years now, and he's been known to, like, work. He's been known to get in the gym. He played 17s from the time he was all AAU. He never played his age group until senior year. So he's always had to play up. But he was always the tallest kid though as well. He got all the accolades. So for me, that's with Caleb Wilson. Yeah, his size, his athleticism, his willingness to work. I mean, and he got, you know, he's starting to come out of shell a little bit because if you heard him this year, he was talking. And I'm like, man, when you start talking like that, but I think, you know, he was trying to, you know, build his villain arc, you know. But that's another thing too, because people would say like, oh, he's kind of soft, but he's not soft. He's just not, you know,
He's laid
he's
back.
yeah, laid back. He's a good kid. I mean, he went to Catholic school, both parents, love his little sister, like the whole deal.
And it's interesting you bring that up, his background. I'm glad you brought that up because now if he goes to the Bulls, this is a big city. And you can get swallowed up. You can, you know, get blinded by the lights and the money and all that. So my question basically is like does he have a good head on his shoulder?
Yeah, he's from Atlanta, Chicago. It's probably Atlanta North.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he has a strong family unit like Chicago. Yeah, we don't have to worry about him, you know, hanging out west somewhere. You know, he's 19. Like he's gonna figure out. And one thing I can tell you that these organizations know how to protect their assets.
Mhm.
Like he's gonna be a guy that they're gonna make sure if he wants to even go downtown, he won't be by himself.
All right.
You know, like these organizations, it's very few that you are hearing about. Remember when we were college age, when all the Chicago athletes was getting robbed and doing all this, they tighten it up a lot more now.
Can we get his unofficial measurements right now?
Actually, they did all the measurements today.
Oh, they did?
And
Okay.
yeah, they did all the measurements today. 6'9" and a quarter
Without shoes?
without shoes, 211 pounds,
You can get up to 240.
seven and a quarter wingspan, 9 standing reach. They'll probably end up posting verticals tomorrow. Just turned 19 a few months ago.
If Nsingwe is decent, Caleb is going to be decent. And if
And,
you Buzelis,
and we just heard the news on Singway.
feet.
Oh yeah, he's still growing.
And I think I mentioned something
He's still growing.
last that he could play the 5.
Yeah.
I think I said it. I know we bit of something.
You mentioned earlier about the true heights coming out. Is this people just blatantly lying to big up their guy? Like, hey, he's really 7, or is it like because they know at the combine they're going to be measured, and the truth is going to come out?
I just think it's an old school way, honestly.
Okay.
I just think it's an old school way, like, well, he's 6'4", we're gonna say he's 6'6".
Even though the truth is going to be revealed.
When people start figuring out these real heights, things can change. I can tell you this right now, just knowing that all these measurements are out now, there's gonna be some shuffling. And I'm actually a little upset because I did this mock draft and I mean, I was gonna have to change it anyway, but man, I didn't know I was gonna have to change it today. I was like, man, give me a little bit of time. But no, shameless plug, I'll be dropping a new one next Monday after the combine.
What was Caleb's three? I know we could look at. Do you know off the top of your head what was Caleb Wilson's 3-point percentage?
He didn't take many. I think he shot 26%.
Oh, okay.
That's off a small sample size.
Okay.
But he can, like you said, he can improve his range.
Yeah, I would liken him to, and he's not this player because I think he has better ball skills and he's probably a little bit more fluid athletically. Jaren Jackson.
Not a fan of his game, lad.
You don't have to be a fan of his game, but Jaren Jackson is a proven player in this league. All-star defensive player, all defense.
You know who I see him, Caleb, as, and he is, and you're saying he can shoot. He'll learn to shoot. It's sort of like a Jalen Johnson Bosch. Can that be?
I'll lean more towards Bosch. Jalen Johnson is really a wing. Really, Jalen Johnson's really a wing.
He can handle, right? He can handle.
I don't know if you guys got a chance to see Jalen Johnson in high school.
He was ridiculous.
I can tell you this now. He had some things that went down when he was in high school and when he was at Duke during the COVID year. Goodness. If those things don't happen, he's top 5. That's the only reason why he slipped to, I think it was 20. Jalen Johnson doing what he's doing now, it's not a shocker to me. It was just he needed the opportunity and the time. And the thing with Jalen Johnson, he went to Atlanta and he's done everything. It's hard to judge somebody when they 16, 17, 18 years old when they just trying to figure things out. If it's not anything like detrimental, criminal, then you kind of got to understand that there's some maturing that needs to be done. And he matured. He's grown up. He realized, like, man, I cost myself a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he getting it back, though.
Okay.
He getting it back.
You're poo-pooing the Jalen Johnson. Athleticism? Because Bosch is not as athletic. Like, Caleb is athletic.
If we're talking athleticism, we talking Aaron Gordon type athleticism. Hey, Caleb Wilson is a freak athlete.
Whoa. Before hamstring, Aaron. Shout out to Aaron.
Yeah. And I still think Aaron Gordon is still crazy athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Aaron Gordon is another dude that came in the league, didn't shoot the 3 well ever until it took him time. And he's probably one of the more important players
in the league. Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of the most important players in the league.
Yeah, his injury really affected that.
Yeah. I just want him to take the offseason and get healthy.
Yeah. That was hamstring or calf.
He been having lower injuries for the past 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He measured at 6'10.5" today, 37-inch vertical. That's really good being 6'10.5".
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary. Vandenberg was 33. Max Burt was 37. So, yeah. Yeah, that's and he shot the ball well today.
I think he'll go higher.
He's gonna go higher.
Yeah, he'll go higher. And probably my bias was wanting him to go to Chicago, but I don't see that happening. Yeah, I just think he'll I think he'll test so well. He'll interview well. He'll,
Change gears a little bit. OKC
Mm,
is 12. They're undefeated currently in the playoffs. They reigning champions. Some would look at them and say they don't need anything. They got the guy who had cancer, Topic. He barely played. They got
Thomas Sorber. That
what's the guy they
Thomas
got from
Sorber.
Philly? Yeah, they got
Yeah.
McCain. He is a top pick. Some people will look at them and say, "Man, they only really need a 12 pick." So do you see you got Yaxel going there? Do you think they stick with that and keep him, or you think they try to trade away to get a better player?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I put Yaxel there because I just think Yaxel is a lottery pick and he fits.
No.
Like I didn't see those other places. Like he's not better than the guys ahead. So my draft, now that the lottery is set, this is all based on what I see as fit, need, that best available for that. But I think somehow, some way the Thunder get out of 12.
Trade down.
Trade down or trade out. I'm in the camp of trading that pick because I know that there's a certain team that is trying to get back in the draft, get back in the first round.
And I guess
They might. I don't know. But I do know for a fact there is a team that's trying to get back in the first round.
Oh,
And I think they have a piece that if they're willing to part with that piece, it makes sense. It makes sense for the Thunder to do it, and it makes sense for the team that wants to get back in the first round to do it.
okay.
It just
In the first
Pacers
round,
are in the first round.
they went to the Clippers.
They went to the Clippers.
Another pick.
honestly, like the Pacers were playing with house money, to be honest with you, because they weren't even supposed to have that pick. That pick was supposed to go to the Pelicans.
Yeah, it was. Right.
They made a trade. They made a trade the day before Halliburton got hurt that allowed them to get their first round pick back. The Pelicans, they could have had the 5th and the 8th pick this year had they not relinquished those.
Going back to your 105 Hoops mock draft 3.0, Cam Boozer, I've heard a lot about.
He a UNC guy, right?
He's
Wow.
Cam Boozer, I'm hearing a lot of he is what he is, but he's the most pro ready. Is that accurate?
It's hard for me to say a guy is who he is when he's only 18 years old.
But you've seen that before.
I mean, Cam Boozer won't turn 19 until like the end of July. He'll still be 18 at the draft. Like, he's so fundamentally sound. And that's the problem that we had. We see this guy that he's not flashy, he's not going to jump off the screen, but somehow, some way, he finds a way to win games. Somehow, some way, he figures out, I'm going to at least get 8 rebounds. Somehow, some way, I'm going to get at least 18 points. Somehow, some way, I'm going to make the right pass. He knows how to play basketball. And in the league where a lot of these young guys come in not knowing how to play, when you can have a guy that young that you can put in an NBA game and he's going to be ready to contribute day one.
Right.
Like, and to be honest with you, if we're being real about it, and this is no knock when I say this, I watched AJ DeMaster since he was a freshman in high school. And he's played the same way. He's mastered all of that stuff. But if you see those step backs, he was doing those step backs, but maybe when he was doing those step backs, fadeaway shots, he's probably going 3 for 10. Now he's going 6 for 10. He gonna figure out how to go 10 for 10. So his game has been tailored for, like, these guys are pros because they're mastering the things that they know how to do. So when they say he is who he is, I mean, you give him 30 minutes. I mean, to me, and I got a lot of flack for this, but I don't care because I stand on whatever I say. To me, Cam Boozer was like the high school version of Tim Duncan. When I seen him in high school, it's Tim Duncan. When he went to college, there's no difference from what he did in high school and what he did to college. And he'll do. Now, I'm not saying that the numbers are going to jump up and he's going to have these 25 and 15 games in the NBA, but it won't be far off because oh man, he ain't nothing but Kevin Love. If he's nothing but Kevin Love, sign me up.
Right.
Sign me up. I think we tend to forget what Kevin Love was doing in Minnesota. Kevin Love went to go try to win.
Yeah. Fundamentally sound too, like you said.
Yeah.
Kevin
Like,
Love.
who doesn't, and this is the thing about it, and I'm so glad that we got Nikola Jokic and we got Karl Anthony Towns. Me and some guys was making a joke yesterday. We was calling him Magic Anthony Towns yesterday. But when you can, Derek Queen, Sengun, Sabonis, when he's healthy, these are big guys that can pass. Now you're looking at Cam Boozer as an initiator of your offense now. Now you're running zoom actions. You running stuff out the pinch post. Like you're actually so for me, I think Cam Boozer be just fine. So if somebody tell me he's just gonna be thanks. I like him like that. What do I need him to do? I don't need a highlight reel. I need people that's gonna get it done. I need efficiency.
A potential second pick, Darren Peterson, released a statement about creatine leading to him cramping at Kansas. I think I asked you last time we had you on here, would you think his non-play was an issue? Now with this creatine story coming out, do you think that's the issue? Or you think it won't matter because of how great of a scorer he is?
I think NBA teams are billion-dollar organizations, and they probably pay somebody a lot of money to make sure that he's going to eat and he's going to take the right stuff and he's going to have the right amount. So I don't worry about that. And he's going to make a lot of money. So he's going to have someone that's going to come to his house and make sure he eats what he needs to eat. He's going to have a nutritionist, a strength coach, a chef. He's going to have everything at his disposal where he won't have to run into issues like that.
Circling back to the Bulls, we got the 15th pick, and I know you just dropped your mock 3.0, and you had Chris Senak Jr. at 15. Any others floating around that the Bulls could look at or that you could tell us about?
Jaden Quantis, I can see them going. I see them going. I see them going big. I see them going big. I see them getting another big. That's just because your front court is thin.
Yeah.
Your front court is thin, and I just don't think there's a big time guard that you're going to get at 15. I think all the really good guards that you would want, they're going to be gone. The only guard that I could see that could be maybe hanging around at 15 is LeBaron Feiline.
Yeah, I was going.
He might, but I just don't see it. But he's a dynamic scorer. He learned how to play point guard. LeBaron is another guy that I've got a chance to watch over time. And LeBaron was a 35 point per game scorer. And when he was in public high school as a sophomore and junior, he goes to prep school and he's backcourt mates with Trey Johnson. You're not gonna score 30 with Trey Johnson on your team. In high school, at least. So he learned how to play with better players. He played with Jasper Johnson inside of Kentucky. So he learned how to play with better guys. So he learned how to be a point guard when he was in prep school his senior year. He goes to Alabama. He's the second guy along with, Mark Sears. So he doesn't take a backseat, but he's a co-star. Then he comes back. Because he could have got drafted last year. I don't think a lot of people understand. LeBaron could have went late first round last year. He decides to go back because he wants to be a lottery pick and he wants to go and lead the team himself. And he did that. A lot of people counted and didn't think Alabama was going to be that good. And they went to the Sweet 16. But I just don't see LeBaron dropping out of the lottery. I like Mara at 15 if he's there. Like I said, I would love Yaxel, but I just don't see Yaxel. I don't see Yaxel leaving the lottery.
Okay.
Jaden Quantis, he'd be a name to look out for. I'm just not super high on him because I haven't seen him play since he was February of 2025.
Measurements?
He measured at 6'9" today, which I'm kind of like, but this is the thing about it. He's only 18 years old, and he's been in college 2 years. He was too young to enter the draft last year.
Okay.
Because, with the rule, you got to be 1 year removed and 19 years old. He was 1 year removed, but he was 18. Another guy doesn't turn 19 till July.
You spoke on earlier off camera about how some of these kids are going to go back into college. Can you look in your crystal ball and give me a guesstimate? How many of these players are going to go back, you think?
It was 71 early interest. Some already have been back. I'll probably say about 20 to 25 will go back to school. I don't think that many guys stay in. Like, I think Malik Thomas goes back to school. I think Masilovich goes back to school because he has a big payday waiting for him. If he goes back, wherever he entered the portal before he entered the draft, so he's going to get paid a lot of money if he goes back to school. I would if I was him, because just from the numbers I seen today of him shooting, and it's a bad sample size because he was probably the nation's best scorer with high volume, but if you can go get paid $5 million to play another year of college basketball where you were top guy and you can work on your NBA stock in a draft that's probably not as front loaded as this one, why not? I think Billy Richmond III goes back to school. Matt Abel goes back to school. The Florida situation, I keep hearing that Chinulu, the big kid from Florida, I keep hearing he'll probably end up going back to school. Yeah.
He and your mock, Steve.
42.
Yeah.
Ruben.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he can go back, get a bunch of money, and he can put himself in first round position next year. I just think a lot of these dudes will go back to school because it's hard to pass up that money. I think Jeremy Fields Jr. goes back to school.
Really?
I think so. I think if he get a first round guarantee,
He'll stay.
I think he'll stay. I think if guys can get a first round, I think Malachi Moreno goes back to school. I didn't even put him on the mock draft because I just feel he's going back to school.
Oh, wow.
Think about it. He's 6'11". The bigs next year in the draft won't be that much. He goes to Kentucky, and the kicker for him is he's from Kentucky. So he might get paid top 5 money to go back to Kentucky.
You know what's crazy is that you're in the middle of all of this, and it is crazy, right? Where you got the NIL, you got the transfer portal, you got the, I'm going out, I'm leaving Chicago, I'm going back. So it could be, dude, your phone got to be blowing up, or just you always looking at it like something is always
Man,
going.
it's a lot of text messages going on, a lot of calls at weird times of the day. Like, hey man, what you think about this? Or hey man, I heard this. Or so it's a little different, man. I'll say that. But yeah, it gets a little crazy. And this is like my first year actually dealing with the draft. Normally it's just been me helping guys with recruiting and transfer portal. This year it's been transfer portal, talking to different personnel about different kids because I may have coached them or coached against them, or they may see like, oh, how do you know such and such? You get these weird calls from these people that want to sit on the phone and ask for intel on somebody for 30 minutes.
Yeah, we try to do that summer league, talk to agents, but they don't bite, when we ask them questions. At summer league, we try to get in there, ask them a little here and there. Agents, they're real close to the vest. I'm sure you're dealing with that now. That's what I'm saying.
Honestly, like it's when you have something for them, they have something for you. You don't have nothing, they don't have nothing.
Scratch.
That's just the way of the world.
Yeah. But as far as the players you mentioned going back to school, that's more so of a NIL thing compared to I'm a promise you're going to go in the first, or compared to them doing bad at the combine. You think that's more of an NIL thing that's causing them to go back?
NIL helps, but if someone tells you in your representation and like all the information that you get gathered, and they say, we don't see you in the top 30. Best if you go back to school. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But a lot of kids just want to try and get drafted. Like
Right.
Tyler Tanner came out and said his goal was to get drafted.
Right.
Like he's going to do everything he can to get drafted. So guess what? He probably 2 feet in. Buka Okori, he's 2 feet in. Like a lot of these guys are 2 feet in. No NIL can change that. They probably feel like, you know what, I can go back to school and yeah, they'll probably give me $4 million, but I still got to go back to school. As opposed to like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the NBA and I could probably get me like a 2-3 year deal, give me a 2-3 year deal as a second round pick, or maybe go undrafted and I do what I need to do for 2 years. And then as opposed to like, I may get like 4 million, but then boom, I could make 80 million in 3 years. So, the ultimate belief of betting in yourself or betting on yourself, it's just so many different factors.
My bad.
Yeah, and anybody I have and that I would, if I was advising or representing or whatever, if I was in that, in that um in the circle like that, I would say what's the most important? Getting your name called or getting paid?
A lot of guys got their name called.
Yeah. A lot of guys get their name called and they don't even get to step on the floor.
Right.
A lot of guys, and we see undrafted guys every year that make it in the league because they like, don't call my name because I want to determine my own destiny. Like if you think about Justin Edwards that plays for the 76ers now, I'm pretty sure it was teams in the second round like, hey, we'll take him. We'll take him. I think his people was probably like, nah, don't draft us. Now we go to Philly and Philly had opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Philly had opportunity for him and then now he was able to sign a deal. And he was regarded as number one player in the country in high school most of the time.
Wow.
Most of the time. He was a top 5 guy all the time. So, like I said, this draft is to roll of the dice. And, a lot of people, and I see stuff, this is the best draft since 1996. And to quote my boy Austin Rivers, easy Tiger. And there's nothing to take away from these guys that's in this draft. But I think we had a pretty good rookie class done this year.
This year, yeah.
I think we had a pretty good rookie class this year.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I mean, we had a second round. The kid in Sacramento, Reynald, he's a second round pick. He looking like a steal of the draft.
Yeah, you play on Sacramento, yeah.
96 draft had 10 All-Stars. That's a pretty good number.
And they had 3 MVPs out of that? 4 MVPs?
3 Hall.
Yeah, Kobe, Iverson, Nash. Yeah, Nash had 2.
Yeah, that's 4 MVP trophies, 3
Right.
MVP guys. It's those 3 Hoffers right there, and then we go.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I just feel that this draft is front loaded, and I feel that, and this might sound messed up, and I might sound really arrogant when I say this. It's access now.
Mm.
Everybody has access to this. Everybody does. Like now everybody you can go look on your phone like, oh yeah, Darius Acuff, and it can be a conversation because it's just on social media and everybody has an opinion because they have it, as opposed to people that's really we're doing this. We're talking about it. You guys are informed, you're asking questions, you're giving input, you're actually boots on the ground doing this. As opposed to somebody that just, I watch basketball, I think us here sitting on this platform right now, we watch it when nothing else, we watch it because we do it. You know what I'm saying? I watch, I'm looking at some variation of some film or some kid or when I really don't want to.
Man.
I want to catch up on the new show that somebody told me about. MIA. Man, somebody hit me like that. I want to watch MIA, but you know what? I can't because I just got a text right now. Hey, can you help my nephew find a prep school? Like now, I gotta watch some kid that I don't before I make a call to be like, hey, you should check this kid out.
You ever get a call like, "Hey, can you help my such and such find?" And you have to tell them, "Hey, your son or whatever is not that good."
It's not hard for me.
Are these people you know closely?
Sometimes,
Okay.
yeah.
'Cause
Like it's hard. It's hard.
They don't want to hear that their son's not
Yeah.
or daughter is not good.
Like
They
I had a no joke, and I don't mean to like get off topic here, but this is just want to give a preview to like my like some of the stuff I go through on a daily. I got a text this morning from a guy. He told me about his son a year ago. Thought his son was pretty good, 6'5", about 230, super athletic, can tear the rim off. I
Yeah.
told him, yeah, but his son should be playing football. And I told him that.
Okay.
I said, our school may not be for him. I was like, but he got some stuff. I'm like, does he play football? He was like, nah, we thinking about playing this year. His son played. His son's on a football scholarship now.
Okay.
He was like, man, you kept it real. I want to tell you about my nephew because da da da. So he tell me about his nephew. He sends the stuff. He gets the dad on the phone. I'm looking at the kid. He's like, yeah, you know my nephew about 5'11". 5'11".
Shorter than that.
He's not 5'11". I know what 5'11" looks like. On film, I know what it looks like. He's telling me this stuff, and I'm just like, you might want to pivot and do something different. The kid can play, but he may not need to play at a high level. Like I've been blessed. I coached at two of the best prep schools, high schools in the country. Current NBA players, future NBA players, high major dudes. And I've been blessed to do that. Super blessed. Like my coaching career, I've had no business coaching some of the guys and being some of the situations that I've been in. And it's very tough when you try to tell people, no, this may not work for you. Just to my pops, rest in peace. He said, just because you can do it don't mean you should do it.
Yeah, pretty straight.
You- That's what he said. Just because you can do it, you can go to this school, but should you go to this school? Because you could face a harsh reality where you're on the bench where you could have been somewhere else, actually developing and playing. And like I tell people, not every kid is meant to go Division I. Not every kid is meant to go Power 5. Not every kid is meant to go to the NBA. It's just one of those deals where it's like it's not for everybody. That's why we've only had 5,000 people that ever play in the NBA.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The average expectancy is like less than 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine that. You're not expecting to get there, but you get there, but you're not expected to be there 4 years.
Right.
And this is another thing, and I don't mean to just take it another way, but I was in Puerto Rico almost 2 weeks ago, celebrating my birthday, and I was able to go to the BSN. I don't know if you guys follow the BSN, but that's the Professional Basketball League.
Okay.
I happened to be 10 minutes away from Santurces. That's like one of the big teams out there. It was Carlos Arroyo's team that he played on.
Okay.
Before he came to the NBA. And I go and sit down. Malik Beasley is playing.
Right. Yeah, he did go over there. Yep.
Davon Jefferson is playing. If you guys remember Davon Jefferson from USC, big time high school player. He was on the team with OJ Mayo at USC. Other side is, you guys remember Darius Baisley? That he was the kid that didn't go to Syracuse. He did the whole 1-year thing. Didn't go to Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's over there. He's not even 26 years old.
Yeah, he's still pretty young.
He spent 6 years in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's out. And he's so talented. You could tell he's coming off an injury.
He did get injured, yeah.
He had an easy 17 on one leg, basically.
Yeah.
And it was like, but you see a who's who of like college guys, pro guys. Like if you go and you look at the BSN, Emmanuel Mudiay is playing in the BSN.
Yeah, I think he's been over there for a while.
You know what I'm saying? Like it, like
Vail McGee was over there, I think.
yeah, JaVale was in Australia. He just spent time in Australia. It's like, and JaVale, that was a choice for JaVale.
Yeah.
I think JaVale was like, I'm gonna go over here.
Right.
Might as well. Let me do something different.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, and I'm sitting there, and I'm not sitting there as like the casual fan. And I can tell you this right now: if you can ever go to Puerto Rico between the months of March and July and be able to go watch a game, go watch a game because it is NBA combined with Rucker Park combined with college. The crowd, the environment is amazing. But I'm just sitting there looking like, these dudes was playing in the greatest league in the world. And Baisley is so young. Malik Beasley, hopefully, he needs to be back in the league. I'm pretty sure Detroit's missing him.
Right.
And he's missing Detroit. I mean, it was, and it's a humbling experience for him. Like, it's funny because, like, I went and watched that game, and now the last week or so, I'm scrolling. He's on my algorithm, which is crazy. And all he's talking about is the NBA playoffs.
Right. He's
know?
been showcasing trying to get back in the league.
And he should be. And he should be because all the findings, they didn't find anything. Yeah.
I know we gotta get out of here. We're taking up a lot of your time. We appreciate it, Les. You got anything?
No, enjoy the combine.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what all that takes because watching it on TV and all of that is a whole different ball game.
Are you going to participate in any drills like vertical leap or anything?
I do not want to get kicked out.
Let's tell us when 4.0 draft is coming out.
Man, we're gonna have another one dropping next Monday. 105_hoops Instagram, 105.hoops on TikTok, and I'm also on Substack at 105 Hoops. I put a lot of like in-depth articles on Substack, so that's where you get a lot of analysis as far as that. It's going to be a busy time, so I'll be probably start revving up these articles here in the next week.
Okay.
Probably do a lot more player pieces. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see player cards for players. So we'll be dropping player cards tomorrow and Wednesday. Be on the lookout for new player cards. It's been a real big draft push. I also have an ebook that's out right now. It's the beginning of the 105 Hoops IQ series. First volume is How Guards Actually Earn Minutes. It's not all about just getting buckets. If you got a young basketball player in your life or you want to have it for yourself, have an ebook. It's $7.99. So $7.99 if you got some young kids in your life that want to help. Volume 2 in the IQ series will be a lot of talking about like the stuff that they don't teach, that you necessarily don't learn at a young age. Talk about spacing, talk about pick and roll coverage, let's talk about a lot of different things. I want to help. I want to do my part in basketball to just keep moving this game forward the best way I know how. I've been blessed to learn. I've been blessed through trial and error. So I just want to, pass it on. So, basketball has been my life, my whole life, so I just want to keep doing it.
We appreciate you coming on, Les.
Draft June 23rd and 24th.
Yeah,
just for reference.
We'll probably try to reach out to you again sometime in June, July. I know it's going to be busy with you with Summer League and the draft, so we'll try to get you again and talk about the draft. But it's always cool, and we appreciate you we chopping it up and talking ball, man. We are hoop junkies, so we appreciate this, man.
And I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys got this platform. I mean, It took long enough for y'all to do it. But we've been talking about the game for the longest. Finally, you guys putting your voice out there, putting y'all stamp on it, and not just basketball, but all sports. I just love what y'all doing. Man, y'all call me. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I want to do it because it's y'all.
Nah, we appreciate it, man. And like I said, we want to interview you again, talk to you again, pick your brain about the upcoming draft. And hell, like I said, summer leagues. Go Bulls, yo.
Number 4.
Appreciate you tapping into this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. No matter if you was watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple, make sure you like, subscribe, share with everybody on the block, and hit the notification bell so you never miss none of our daily drops. And to all the guys from the Shy, we say 3 things: bear down, fly the W, and sell the team, Jerry.